Dark.
I'm dark.
Hey, Goat Knucklers, this is Flo. Welcome back to Goat Knuckle Talk with Flo, and I have my awesome, beautiful co-host, Lisa Nolan Hafner. Where the hell am I going? Sorry, man. Keep disappearing. Hey, Lisa. So real quick, what do you think about Goat Knucklers? Hey, Goat Knucklers, what do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. It means
Yeah.
everybody's part of this club.
Yeah, it's like you have the Grateful Dead that were deadheads, right? So we have Goat Knucklers, so right? But anyway, Lisa, who's these beautiful ladies? Who do we have on the show tonight?
We have a really special edition tonight. So we have the Rifle Corps from our wonderful, wonderful band. And so please welcome this evening Becky Dunn, Jeanette Hunt, Kay Dunning, Stephanie Morgan, Jana Posey, Jolie Temple, and unfortunately, we're missing Vanessa Morgan tonight. She was not feeling well, and I know she wishes she could be here. But thank you, ladies, for coming on and spending some of your time with us this evening and sharing your stories. And it's just so nice to see all your beautiful faces.
Where's everyone?
Before we move on, I'm going to go around the room and ask you where you're living now. So I'm going to start with Becky.
I am in Friendswood, Texas, which is just south of Houston and north of Galveston.
Way south.
Yeah.
How long have you lived there, Becky?
We've lived here, it's kind of hard to say, 10 years, maybe over 10 years. Lived in Minnesota for 6 years and then lived here before that for 10 years. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, come full circle. Jana, how about you? Where are you living?
I live in Peachtree City, Georgia, which is about 30 miles south of Atlanta. We've been here. I ended up here because I married an Army officer.
Oh, cool.
So we lived around the world, and the last job he had before he retired brought us here to Atlanta from being in Germany, and amazingly enough, it just kind of stuck. We both realized the other day we've lived here now 20 years, and it's the longest place either one of us have ever lived in our entire life.
Well, go Braves. That's my team.
Wow.
Go Braves. And I'll fly into Atlanta in about 3 weeks to drive to Chattanooga to visit my girls. So I'll wave as I drive by, I guess. Anyway.
I'm flying to Atlanta soon on my connection to Chile. So
well, that's the joke around here is you can't get anywhere without, you wouldn't get to heaven or hell unless you went through the Atlanta airport. So
that's true.
Exactly. Stephanie, where are you living? Stephanie?
Oh, sorry. I currently live in Little Elm, Texas. So it's in the Metroplex. We moved out here in 2006. And we actually moved to Little Elm in 2012. So if you're familiar with the Metroplex at all, if you go north all the way to the highway of hell, I guess you would say 380, that connects Denton and McKinney, we're just right there off of 380 and next to Frisco.
Okay. So you're North Dallas.
Yeah.
Far North Dallas.
Far North Dallas.
I'm in East Dallas, over by the Arboretum in White Rock Lake.
Oh, okay.
Kay, where are you living?
I live in the Austin area, specifically Cedar Park, Texas, which is a suburb. There's really not any distance between Austin and any of the suburbs in the area. Everything is just one big blob. So we call it the Central Texas area is what we call it, because it's really just one big area of populated people.
Yeah. And how long have you been there?
I moved here in 1992 and I've been here the whole time and I absolutely love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Well, Austin's always a really cool place to be.
Yes.
Jolie?
I live in Merritt Island, Florida, and we've been there about 3 years. But before that, we were in Colorado Springs and we lived there and raised our kids there.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Jeanette?
I am in Wolford, Texas.
Right outside of Lubbock.
Right outside of Plainview. I didn't move very far.
Is that a bass behind you? Because I love bass fishing.
Oh, it is a bass.
Nice. I
It
like it.
is a bass.
You've become my favorite person now.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
ladies, welcome. Welcome. Before we get to our little questions we sent you, who is more important? And don't be shy. Don't be shy. The Rifle Corps or the flags?
The Rifle Corps.
Rifle.
Of course it was the
It's
rifles.
just
More skills.
more skills. Exactly.
Dangerous weapons.
Yes, less of you guys. So awesome. Good
Larger
job.
chance to get hurt.
Absolutely. Did they every year was there like a female captain or lieutenant or what does somebody run the corps every year?
Jana was our illustrious leader.
Oh, nice.
And Jolie was our illustrious leader.
Jolie was.
So I
For
think
1 year.
wasn't Kay a leader?
I was one
Yeah.
year, yes,
Yeah.
my senior year.
Okay. How do you guys get that job? Okay.
OT. Kind of
That's
a
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
OT
Just
run.
OT says, you're it. Really? There's no tryouts.
Well,
There's nothing.
I got it by default because I was actually the founder.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Way
She
to go,
was the
Jana.
founder of the rough course. Yeah, Liz said that.
Mhm.
Oh,
My
Okay.
sister said that you were the founder.
Okay. Founder of the Rifle Corps, or just right of the leader.
No, founder of
No,
the rough
of
course.
the
Rifle
Rifle
Corps.
Corps at Plainview High School.
No shit. Excuse my language. When did it start?
Yes.
In 81? I mean 82 or before then?
The first year we had the Rifle Corps on the field was 79-80. It actually, for me, it actually started in 1976. How kids go to summer camp each year. Well, my camp was to go to the Texas Tech band camp.
Cool.
And the very first year I went, which would have been I was in 7th grade. They had a performance by a group affiliated with DCI, which is Drum Corps International. And I saw them twirling those rifles and I fell in love. And so at that point in time, I was in Willis Giddens' band and came back and said, why don't we have this? And I said anybody could twirl a baton or a flag, and he laughed at me.
Whoa, yeah, there you go.
And
There you go. Here, now we're
and I
starting.
said,
And
if-
back
if,
up on
you
the
know,
twirlers.
we need to twirl some guns. That's what I called him at the time. And he was like, yeah, sure. You just wait. So every year after that, I worked on OT until he finally, he was good friends with Dean Killian, who was the father of Coach Jerry Killian,
Right.
and
Texas
who
Tech
one of
band.
our directors. And he found out, yes, that I attended the camp. I ultimately ended up as an instructor as at the camp for tech. And he said, okay, am I going to make a huge mistake? We have this huge string of first division at, competition. If I add these rifle twirlers to my group, am I going to mess things up? And Dean said, no, I think it will enhance your performance. So he gave me my freshman year, which would have been 78, 79, to get it figured out and help raise money to get the uniforms and equipment. And then in the fall of 1979, we had tryouts and set up the first 6 in the Rifle Corps.
This is cool. I didn't know that. I thought it's been around a while.
No.
Let me ask. What was going to ask? Oh, do they still have a Rifle Corps? Does anyone know?
Yes,
Jeanette,
they do.
they do? The new Jeanette?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, they need to have a damn award after your name, Jana. Seriously,
The Hall of
you know,
Honor.
huh?
Oh,
He used to be in the Hall of Honor for starting a tradition in Plainview. Okay, so
Yeah.
do you remember who the first 6 people were?
yes.
Okay, tell us.
Jolie, Lynn
Hey,
Blake,
Who? After
Lynn Blake,
Lynn Blake,
class of 82,
also class of 82. Lisa Douglas, Lisa Douglas
82.
Wordman, she was also class of 82. Christy Franklin
82.
Horn, class of 82. And Sherry Coy, class of
Wow.
84, I believe. 3?
4.
Was she in your
No,
class?
84. No, Sherry wasn't. No, Leanne was. Her sister was in our class, not Sherry. Sherry's a year younger than us.
Oh,
So
she
you're,
was in our grade because I met her in 6th grade at Ash Elementary.
oh,
So Sherry Coy, she
Oh.
moved. She
oh, okay. My
moved
apologies.
to the Houston area, like after our sophomore year, maybe.
Oh, okay, my bad. All
Probably
right.
because
big
she was
sister-
only on the Corps 1 year.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So obviously there was a lot of class of 82 because it was very easy for me to harass my friends in band
So,
into, hey, this is something new. Don't you want to do this too?
so that's what you guys, you just went out and around and asked your friends, or did you guys put a flyer out, or how'd you promote it, in other words?
I don't remember there being a flyer. I think it was just all word of mouth. You know, the biggest recruiting ground I think were those that wanted to try out for the Flag Corp.
And what do we think about the Flag Corps ladies? Just kidding.
Oh, they're lovely. They enhance the show as well.
Yeah. Go take a few shots of tequila and then answer that again. Come on, we need some. We hadn't had any controversy in our show, Lisa. We need it now. We need the egg on the flag so they can join and they can rebuttal. So come on, talk some shit.
Oh
I'm kidding.
gosh.
So anyway,
Not me. So I that's the way I remember it. I know of this group here, Jolie was for my core time. Jolie was a 3-year. Kay was 2.
Mhm.
Becky, I believe you were also 2.
I
Or
was
did you
2 years, yeah.
joined
My
my
last year.
senior year?
I don't think I was with you. I was with Kay.
Um,
I was with Kay. Kay was our
Okay, then
leader
you
person.
I was with you for 2.
okay.
Jeanette, what about you?
I was 3.
Wow.
So
And your
by the time-
sister?
But you were not until
Under Jana, though.
after we were gone. Yeah, you weren't under mine. Interestingly enough, I have to point this out. So on this group, there are 3 of us who also had sisters
Mhm.
in the Corps.
Mhm.
Jeanette's sister Liz was with me. Stephanie's sister Vanessa was also with me. And my sister Gina
Mhm.
was started the Corps as a freshman under Kay and then Jolie, I think.
Wow,
So
Wow.
so
it
cool.
was an all in the family situation.
And of course, Gina was our team captain
Yes.
my
So
senior year.
after you have 1 year under your belt, it's time to talk to OT. If you're gonna, well, of course you need to continue. But how was his assessment after 1 year?
Um he told me I needed to go back to camp and learn some new tricks.
That's OT for you.
Oh, that's
So-
funny. So you started
Yeah.
out with 6, but by the time you got to your senior year, how big did the Corps get? I don't remember.
The largest number I believe that they have ever had was 7.
Okay.
And that's simply because you do a lot of partner tricks. And so obviously you need a pair. And the one odd ends up, throwing a bunch of triples and quadruples to try and look cool and hopefully not drop.
How much did they weigh? I mean, I'm pretty sure they were balanced. So what do they weigh? Do you remember?
Oh, less than
Like-
5 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were
Well,
popping.
well, Jeanette,
I
And
what
have
we
got
mine
had to,
here.
do you remember having to tape the pennies?
How do you have yours?
I'm a pack rat.
And show it to
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. Y'all kept your rifles or did you steal it?
That's
So they would
a
trade them
practice
out,
rifle.
like there would be practice ones, and then the ones we used for show, and then the show ones would get retired and become practice ones. So
Oh, so what
I
penny
kept
you're
it for
talking about?
defense. Like I kept it behind my door forever, like in case I needed to hurt somebody with it.
Well, Becky, explain the penny. I mean, Jana just mentioned the penny.
Oh, I don't
We
remember.
would tape
Yeah.
pennies along the strap
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that when you were doing a count off and you would hit it against your hand, those pennies would hit the wooden rifle
Mhm.
and would make a sound so that it was easier heard up and down the line than trying to count because you had the band going behind you, but the pennies on the leather strap against the wood was a very distinctive sound.
What? Where'd you get the idea? Or I assume you did.
From coaching the classes at Tech.
Okay. And what'd you say about the rifle? I mean, about the flag again? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
There you go again.
Hey, so Jeanette, how you doing, Miss Jeanette, with the beautiful bass behind you?
Hey, I'm good.
I assume you got into the rifle corps because your sister, or was there another reason?
Well, I was a twirler in the 8th grade with Jeannie Pennell. Do you
Okay.
remember Jeannie Pennell?
Are you asking everybody?
Yeah.
I'm asking everybody, of
Oh,
course, you,
yes.
Michael. But no, I was a twirler in the 8th grade. And of course, my freshman year, I was in freshman band because I couldn't join the senior band. And of course, I think I became a rifle in my sophomore year.
Mhm.
And it was so hard for me to transition from smiling when I was twirling to be a straight face.
Ah, that makes sense.
Because the rifle corps had to have a straight face. We could not smile. We couldn't laugh. We just had to stand there and twirl our guns.
Oh,
who,
okay.
Yeah.
why? Can you tell us why you had to have a straight face? Like, why couldn't you smile?
Because
Go-
you resemble the military, kind of like the military rifles.
Yeah, we were like little tin soldiers.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
And we had to have a straight face. And I remember OT one day, somebody cracked a joke out in the back behind me in the band, and they were like, I was smiling, and he was like, compose yourself. I was like, oh Lord.
that's funny. Jolie, what about you? Why'd you join the corps?
You know, I think I was wandering around in the band parking lot, right outside the band hall. It was the first day that we were there, and somebody just came up to me. It must have been Jana, and said, "Do you want to try out for Rifle Corps?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that is, and I don't think so." But they told me what it was, and so I tried out.
Well, okay. Why? I mean,
Why?
Yeah.
I think OT had said they had enough, like I was a clarinet player and they wanted more brass players and band. They had enough wind
Woodwinds?
players. Yeah, woodwinds. And so they wanted the woodwinds to be mostly the flags, twirlers, and then rifle corps.
Nice. What about
Yeah.
you, Kay? What got you started?
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know for sure, but I think OT called my mother and said, Elizabeth twirled in band. What is Kay gonna do? And he said, and she said, well, Kay doesn't twirl. And he said, well, we've got a rifle corps. I think she needs to look at that. So I remember my 8th grade going into my freshman year, and I believe that's how we found out about it. And I am so thankful to Jana that she created this, because some of my fondest high school memories are from being in the Rifle Corps. It was just a blast. We had such a good time. And the expectations that were put on us were so high, but they were put on us in a way that we wanted to do good. We wanted to do better. We didn't want to disappoint anybody.
Oh,
Nice.
that was very sweet of you to say.
It's true. It's true.
Stephanie?
Kind of.
Because Vanessa?
Well, yeah. I mean, I started out I went in and I didn't know if I wanted to be, one of the flags or Rifle Corps.
Good
And
choice.
I actually almost tried out for the Flag Corps instead. But there was just something about, I guess, doing rifles and seeing Vanessa do it like the year before and stuff. So Rifle Corps it was.
Nice. Becky?
From my memory, I think I joined because I really looked up to Jolie and wanted to do whatever Jolie was doing. But my first year to try out, I choked and didn't make it. And my friend Brenda got on, and I was so jealous. And so the next year I tried out again and made it. But Jolie had graduated and Brenda went to Flag. So I had to make new friends.
Wow. Well, cool.
Well, was
Lisa?
it hard trying out when this was a new genre of the band, right? It was fairly new. Like, how did you prepare to try out for something that you had never done before?
I remember going to Jolie, and she kind of showed me the ropes, and we had to practice and practice and practice just to try out for it. My hands hurt so bad. I don't have big hands. I'm not a strong person. So I think it was just working out those muscles and getting your hands calloused.
Yeah, and I think you build muscle and endurance in your arms and shoulders, doing the and the top. I mean, this is a lot of movement, right, in this part of your body. And I would imagine there was a lot of soreness in the beginning, right?
Yeah, a lot of soreness for me. I actually got the rifle out and took it out in my backyard today, and just to see if I could do it. It was so bad. So I tried it with my right hand, got a few around, barely could do it with my left hand. And so all I can do is TikToks. You remember TikToks going up and down? That's it. Yeah. Then my kid walked out and laughed at me. So I gave it up.
Nice. Well, ladies, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question, Michael. So you said that. So did any of your kids become Rifle Corps?
Mine were
Yeah, we don't talk flags here, man.
Well, I mean, they could have done flag instead of rifle, but
we don't talk flag. Flag's a bad word here. See, I'm doing this for a reason. I'm trying to get flag girls to come back.
He's trying to set up another episode with the Flag Corps.
Yes. Anyway, go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry.
I was just asking if y'all had daughters, did any of your daughters follow in your footsteps?
Mine were athletes.
We homeschooled, so there wasn't a big opportunity for that.
Well, I mean, I would think you have to be an athlete to do this. It's pretty damn tough. Let's see, Stephanie, or Jana. Who are the judges? OT or you or in senior? I mean, every year when a new started, who were the judges?
I tried to remember that. It's been too long. I honestly do not remember who the judges were.
I thought it was the directors, OT and some of the other directors.
I think it was the Corps and the directors.
The returning Corps members only had to learn the routine, the tryout routine. Their spot was saved, as it were, as long as they wanted to come back. And they could show that they could do the routine, which was not ever that hard, I don't think. I had the honor, I guess, of not having to try out. But I also was not a judge. All I did was show the band directors were the judges, and the first 2 years he brought in the choir director and the drama teachers, which were Steve Garms and Debbie Canterbury at that time, because he wanted an outside perspective to see what it looked like. But all I ever did was show them what it should be, and then they were the judges, and for my time, and then told me who would be on the corps.
I mean, what do you, if no one's ever twirled a rifle, what do you guys look at? I mean, seriously, if you have 4 people who've never done it and they got 4 trying out, how do you figure out they're going to be good? How would you know?
Well, they didn't just walk in and pick up the rifle and start to twirl it. We had some meetings, time beforehand to go over. And it wasn't a full song's worth. And, now we're talking 45 years of my memory, and there was some music, so you could see how it worked with it, but it wasn't that big of a performance. Once you picked it up and you learned the basic, a right hand flip, a left hand flip, the TikToks, flip kick, pass, you could pretty much tell real quickly whether somebody was going to be able to grasp how to make it work, or if you said, thank you, perhaps there's another place that you would fit in the band.
Like
Hey,
Flag Corp.
Becky, can you go in the backyard and show us that TikTok?
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely not.
Jolie, was there like a band director that was like your coach?
In the Rifle Corps?
Yes.
Not really. What we had to do though as captains is coordinate with OT on all the different positions of the band and where we're supposed to be relative to the rest of the band and how we're supposed to get there, so that we won't get marched over. So yeah, so there was coordination that way that we had to do.
Or literally our sophomore years, you guys got marched over.
Yeah,
Literally.
You recall?
Yes,
So
I do. We laid down on the field and everybody
We each
marched over.
threw a double flip, and then you had to get the flip, get it caught, and down on the ground.
was a rifle to the side or was a rifle in front?
It was over.
No, okay.
You sucked in your elbows and you had it over you, because heaven forbid you had it something out too far and the band member stepping over you tripped.
So Kay, do you remember who stepped over you?
I don't, but I remember learning that, and I was petrified when they were marching over us. Absolutely petrified that somebody was going to step on me. But I just thought that was the coolest thing. And I don't know if anybody had ever done that before we did that at contest.
I don't think so.
Oh, that was pretty badass. Jeanette, do you remember
One of the other podcasts, and I don't think that had ever been done before.
Jeanette, do you remember who stepped over you?
No, we didn't do that. My sister got kicked in the face.
Oh, okay. What?
After she had dental surgery, she got kicked in the face.
Ouch.
And she got up and she was bleeding, and OT was like, get back in rank. And she was like, I'm bleeding.
He didn't care.
No, I wasn't there then.
Okay.
I'm the baby of this group.
That's true. You're 85. That's
I
true.
am the baby.
Stephanie, do you remember who marched over you?
Jerry Stair with the tuba.
Oh wow,
Well,
was
that would be scary.
that's a big man.
I did not want him falling with that thing on top of me.
I mean, he was like 6'2", 6'3", maybe, and you're like
So you
5.
make sure you get that thing
Yeah.
up, get that rifle down, and give him space to step over.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. What about you, Jolie? You remember who?
No, I don't remember.
Becky?
I've either blacked it out or we didn't do it the years that I was in it.
Okay.
Well, that leads me to another question. Were there ever any injuries? You know, like,
Will they ever? I think the question is, what injury did you have?
that should be the question. Okay, Kay, what injury did you have?
I had a jammed finger that would not unjam for like weeks. And I kept on telling OT, my finger's hurting me. And he said, I don't care. Just
Wow.
suck it up. I mean, he was pretty much just suck it up and do it. And that was primarily that, and bruises. Like it looked like we were a battered women on our arms from time to time
And
from
legs.
hitting it. And I don't know about you gals, but I have arthritis in my hands, and I swear it's from the Rifle Corps all 4 years. I swear it's from that.
Did you guys have to like tape like 2 fingers together or anything like that?
We wore gloves.
Oh, okay.
I remember wearing
They had
gloves.
gloves. I remember the glove.
Yeah, that's right. What about you, Becky? What were your injuries?
Oh, okay. So, man, y'all stirred up a lot of memories just starting this, but I remember being out one morning for a practice and we were just kind of gathering, and I walked up behind another rifle. I don't remember who it was. And right when I walked up, she swung her rifle out to like twirl it, hit me right in the throat, knocked the wind out of me. Somehow I got to the office. My mom got called. I mean, I'm gasping. I can't breathe. And my mom's a nurse. She comes to get me, and instead of acting like a nurse, keeping her head, she's totally lost it. Doesn't park in the parking lot, parks in front of the school. And she's walking out with me, and Willie McGee, officer
Yes.
Willie McGee, do I remember his name right? Was
Yes,
writing her a
it's Willie.
ticket. Then he sees me, sees her walking out, and oh, your daughter's hurt. That's okay. It's okay. I got you. Puts on his lights and drives us to the medical center. And I'm just dying. I just figure everybody is looking out the window of me getting escorted out of the building. The next day I had to wear a neck brace, but I was so embarrassed, and I'd recovered by then, that I took the neck brace off and hid it in my locker, and I told my mom I lost it. But I hated attention. So.
And then 6 months later, you were driving a Corvette, right?
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Michael, what
Yes,
was
ma'am.
our uniform?
Oh shit. Red and navy and white.
Uh-huh. They were shorty shorts,
Yeah.
go boots, a white cowboy hat.
Yep.
Suntan support hose. We had to have suntan.
We had to have
hose.
our hang ten support hose, go boots, shorty shorts.
Yeah.
White
Red
sash.
top, white bottom, white sash.
Nope.
I'm
Yeah.
making the notes here.
How many of
Flo,
us
do you
have
know
gray?
what differentiated the Rifle Corps from the Flag Corps?
The
The color of the shorts.
We were opposite.
Oh, we're
colors.
oh.
We
The
were.
shorts and the tops were opposite colors.
But we also
Yes,
had some
they were.
gauchos. We never wore them for a performance, but I had a pair of like gaucho
Oh
pants.
no,
things.
I wore in 1984. It was snowing. They gave us some sweats we could wear, so I didn't have to wear I still had my go-go boots, my shorts, my shirt, but I had sweats on because it was
Oh.
snowing. It was like 25 degrees when we had to go march for competition.
But why were you allowed to wear sweats when the twirlers couldn't wear anything?
Oh,
mean, that-
well, Jack the Twirlers. No, I think they had sweats on too.
Not during the performance.
Twirlers
Oh.
they were not allowed to wear, they had to still wear their little,
Oh,
glittery leotard thingies.
yes. But we had little cotton sweatpants on.
Mhm.
It looked
Alright,
like
alright.
a prison uniform.
Hey, Michael,
Yes.
I have a short story if y'all want to hear it.
Yes.
Is it
Okay.
involve me?
No, it does not, but it's a good
Okay,
one.
go ahead.
So, when I was a freshman, went in and got measured for my shorts for the Rifle Corps. Okay. Well, it came my senior year and I get ready for the fall and I put my shorts on and I cannot wear them anymore. I was growing up and maturing and my shape was changing. So I went to my mom and I said, Mom, my Rifle Corps shorts are not fitting anymore. I said, my body's really, I was getting more womanly shaped. And so I go to school the next day and it was at the beginning of school. So she said, well, you need to call OT and tell him that you need to get new shorts. So I remember this to the day. I called and said, OT, this is Kay Dunning. And I said, I need to get a new pair of rifle shorts. I said, my rifle shorts don't fit anymore. And he said, well, have you been having a really fun summer? And I said, no, sir, I haven't. And so I said, they just don't fit my body shape anymore. So I remember he said, well, call so-and-so. I can't remember the lady who handmade all of our uniforms and had to go in and get refitted. And I was so embarrassed because I thought I was the only one. And there were several girls there in the Flag Corps that had to have their shorts done too. So I didn't feel quite so bad, but I thought it wasn't bad for having it all 4 years. So,
Were their shorts polyester?
They were a thin, silky, satiny. Jana might know what they were. They were very satiny. They were not really forgiving. They were like fitted to your body.
Wow.
They had no stretch whatsoever.
No
And
stretch.
yet they were a heavy satin.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
what they were.
Well,
Michael,
Yes, ma'am.
remember back in the day when Southwest Airlines had their booty shorts? That was
that's a question to Lisa. Lisa used to work for Southwest Airlines.
You know their booty shorts?
Oh yeah.
That's what we wore.
Wow.
And I was like, really? Seriously?
Well, hey, what about the parent, Jolie?
Yeah.
Parents, how do they feel about these disco shorts and
That's funny. I didn't think they were that short. I thought they were, pretty normal.
No,
They were modest.
Yeah.
they were mid.
Okay.
They weren't
They
like
were
the,
mid-
Well, again, what about the
jogging
parents?
shorts.
Parents was cool with that, I guess. I mean, they
Uh-huh.
had to be, but I don't
Yeah.
want to read anybody stick. But I want to go back to Becky. Who hit you? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
You'll
I
lie.
think I blacked out a little bit.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Trust me. It's probably Donna Freeze hit you with the flag pole.
Hey, that
kidding.
you just kind of made me remember something. Misty Dickey.
Oh,
I was a rifle with Misty Dickey, and I just want to remember her because she's
Oh my
passed
God,
away.
she was
Just
blessed.
a beautiful, beautiful, bright spot.
Yes.
Just a joy to be around. Just a good friend, and I miss her. I wish you were right here with us. She'd be laughing.
yeah. Yes,
Okay,
I was
I'm-
fortunate to see her again in one of the NRRs, and actually that's where her and Sean McCarty met, and one of the or reconnected. It was at one of the NRRs. So, yes, may she rest in peace. She was a sweet girl, and she did TV reporting, right?
Something with TV.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes.
Of course,
Jana, go
I
ahead.
want to make this comment. Ted Culp has passed away.
Who?
Who?
Ted Culp.
Oh, yes. Ted. Yes.
So we just have to remember him.
Yeah, he was in band. He was in band as well.
He wasn't bad. He was a great musician.
Yes, he was a guitarist whenever I was a stage band. He was in it, yes.
And he was a drummer.
He what? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was on the drum line.
Okay.
But yeah, he passed away
Last
weeks
week
ago.
seems like it.
Yes.
Right? Yes, may he rest in peace. Well, Jana, what was your injuries? Well, you probably didn't have any since you started the whole thing, right?
Well, I jammed a few fingers while I was there. My biggest injury was a broken wrist, but that was while I worked at the tech camp. Nothing
Oh.
like having a bunch of junior high kids and trying to teach them how to use it. And we had girls and boys. It wasn't rifles are unisex. The performance that I saw that I fell in love with was majority boys in the Corps.
Oh, thank God.
Um,
I would hate to see him in those boots and those tiny shorts.
would have definitely been a different look for our Corps. But no, I broke my wrist, and when I came home and had the broken wrist, OT was not exactly pleased.
Oh, wow.
It was the summer, it was going into my senior year. Fortunately, it happened at the beginning of summer, so I was right at the end, and I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll be strong enough. I'll be able to make it work."
Does it
And
still hurt?
I actually wore a brace under my gloves.
Does it still hurt? Is this the long?
Oh, you're a member of the 60 Club as well, and
I got 12
that,
more days. 12 more days. 12 more days.
well, once you get to that point, everything's bound to hurt a little bit somehow or another.
Yes.
So,
Oh, cool. Jeanette, what were some of your injuries?
I had no injury.
Bullshit.
I did hit OT with a rifle.
Oh, and how'd you do that?
Tell us that story.
Yeah.
Well,
Did he piss you off that day?
No, he just said, "We're about to start." And I was like, "Okay, we're about to start. You need to move." And I hit him in the hand, and I don't know if I broke a pinky or what, but he was just like, "Oh Lord." But I was like, "No, I told you needed to move."
What year was this? What remember you're like
That was probably 84.
84. Okay, your senior
Because
year.
I'm a baby.
Yeah, of course, you're the
Was
baby.
he angry?
I'm the baby.
Did he lash out at you? Was he angry?
No, heck no. OT never lashed out at me at all.
Stephanie,
No,
what about you?
well,
Any injuries?
can I sneak in before you hit Stephanie?
Yes,
One
ma'am.
thing I didn't bring up was that I tore up a knee, not necessarily in the band or part of the Corps, but along with it. And we went to Corpus Christi and marched in the parade that was 7 miles long.
Oh, forever.
And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember,
Buccaneers.
and I kept saying, "Can I stop?" And OT was just off to the side of me, and he'd say, "Don't you dare. We're almost at the end."
Oh my gosh.
And I asked him that probably for 2 hours. And finally we hit the end, and he said, "Okay, we're there." And I said, "Good." And I dropped the rifle. I dropped. The parents that came on the trip came and got me. I had a knee that was the size of a
Oh
basketball.
wow.
They
Oh.
took me to the hospital, and it was so full of fluid they couldn't even drain it. So then I got to ride the bus the bajillion hours home with everybody. So
Yeah,
that then I became my parents' problem to get me to an orthopedist to get it taken care of.
Wow.
I assume you rode by yourself because you had to keep your leg levitated, right?
I did get a seat by myself, but and ice
Co-
every time we stopped. But that was probably my worst memory.
Wow,
Well,
so
Forgot
hardcore.
about the parades.
Oh,
I
and
remember
I
they threw
can,
fireworks at us. People would throw fireworks at us. I had burns on my
Mhm.
arms.
mhm.
That was the flag
Lovely.
flag girls. Those flag girls.
Hey, I've
So
got
sorry,
some story
Stephanie.
to
I didn't
add.
mean to
Yes.
steal
Yeah.
your injury stuff.
No, go
That
ahead.
just
well,
that was
okay.
the strange rifle injury.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Wow, that sounds painful.
It
Yeah.
definitely was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh.
And in
Definitely
my
top that off.
Go ahead,
in
Jeanette.
my junior year, I had been bit by a dog. And I had to do that whole trek in Corpus Christi. And Jerry Killian stood right beside me the whole trek because he was afraid I could not make that march.
Where did you get bit? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, my
Her
child dog,
dog.
my child dog bit me.
No, I know
Stephanie
where.
He didn't
remembers
just
that
Where did he bite you?
just bite
on
you
my
once.
leg,
Got you
Oh.
good.
on my left leg, and Jerry Killian stood right beside me that whole line that I had to march that whole line. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Okay, if you're not okay, I'm gonna pull you out."
So Jeanette, didn't that dog bite Liz also, like in the face?
No,
Seems like I remember her being bitten in the face by him.
no, Liz got bit in the face by our schnauzer when she was like 3 years old.
Oh,
I didn't pick your dog. You didn't pick your dogs carefully.
But no, that chow dog bit me. And of course, I don't remember if y'all remember Debbie Gouldy.
Mm-hmm.
She was coming to my house. She was going to pick me up and take me to go get a soda. And my dog attacked me.
Wow.
Wow. Oof. I guess you had to have rabies shots or some kind of shots.
No, I didn't have rabies shots,
Okay.
but no, Jerry Killian. I love Coach Killian.
Yes.
Mhm.
It was on our
Y'all
show.
remember Coach?
Yes. We had him on our show a few months ago.
And I was like, he was the greatest guy. He just walked right beside me and he was like, "If you're getting weak, I'm going to take you out."
Well, I have a question real quick. Did any of you guys watch the show with Coach?
No,
No?
I did not.
Okay, so who called him Coach first? Any of you ladies remember?
no.
No.
It was class of '83, Jolie.
You?
No, not me. No, not me.
Was it Keith Bell?
It was Keith Bell.
That's what I thought, Keith Bell.
Keith Bell. So he gave him that nickname. All right, so who's next on the injuries?
Stephanie.
Have we done K?
Yes, we did Kay.
No, I haven't done-
Stephanie?
Oh,
Stephanie?
I think mine were not so much on on game days, but practice field. Y'all remember our practice field was horrible. And I can't tell you how many times I've twisted an ankle and stuff out there on the practice field. And you just had to make sure you didn't drop that rifle even during practice.
Mhm.
Man, I didn't think about that uneven playing field. That could, if you step in a little hole, that can throw you off, or a hill. So wow. So what kind of injuries did you get? Just the typical bruises on your
Pretty
body?
much, yeah. In really cold games and stuff, when that rifle comes down and hits you in the hand, it hurts.
It burned. I bet it did.
Well,
Jolie?
Anybody get hit in the head? Like if you dropped it, did it come down and bonk you on the head?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah. Jolie.
Okay, so mine's gonna be a little bit different. So mine, this is kind of silly, and I can't believe this, but mine's more emotional. So all of my life, like all of my life, I have had dreams, it's my dreams, that I'm in the rifle corps. And number one, I forget the routine. Number two, I can't find my shorts. Number three, I can't find my rifle. Number four, I can't find my shirt. Number five, I've been sick and I'm trying to get somebody to show me the routine. And so they start showing me, but then I blank out. And then, I mean, so like all my life, I have had these dreams like over and over and over. Isn't that crazy?
PTSD.
Yeah.
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 That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jolie, you were the best coach ever.
Oh, thank you.
So let me ask you guys this. Did you guys ever hit, well, besides Jeanette hitting OT, did you guys hit any other band member with the rifle?
No.
I don't
Not that I
know.
remember.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then
No.
Well,
We're-
okay, so we have this thing, Jana can probably describe it better, but 3 people are, how was that, Jana? That's,
The 3 to the 3, the archway, where
yeah,
you exchange the rifles.
and we threw the rifles. So
Across.
we're lined up 1, 2, 3 in a row, 1, 2, 3 in a row, and the back people throw the rifles to the back. Wait, how did that work?
Right. Yeah, it was 3 and 3. And the ones threw it to the ones, the twos threw it to the twos, and the threes threw it to the threes.
Okay, so all the time when we did that, you had to put your hand out to catch, because we threw them all at the same time. So you had to put your hand out to catch yours, but make sure you kept your hand in so the rifle sailing by your head didn't hit you.
Right. You threw from your right and you caught from your left.
Mhm.
And
Damn.
because you did it, you tapped it on the ground twice, kicked it with, put it down, kicked it with the back of your heel to then flip it up so that it would spin completely around, and then you had to catch it in your left hand. And I don't think we ever had anybody that was left-handed, so that everybody's dominant hand was right and catch, at least during my time, so that it was easier to teach it that way. And get it. And we did that pass curve several different ways. We did it where everybody did it at the same time, which was the hardest, because getting those flips to happen in sync was not at all easy.
And it was the most
We also
painful.
did it to where it was ones, then as the band came up, then it was twos, and then it was threes as the music crescendo.
So y'all never crossed like 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
No, because of the fact that you had to throw out of the one hand and catch in the other. If you tried to send it across, chances are we would have probably given some concussions doing that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, besides Becky's injury, was there any injury that maybe didn't involve you girls here, but or someone else may have a really like head like a major cut or anything?
If we
Not
do,
that
we
I'm
blacked it
aware
out.
of.
Oh,
Yeah.
It
The
seems
other
like
thing
one
you have
leg
to
got
realize, those funny looking, Jeanette called them cowboy hats, but they were actually somewhat of a Western style, but the left side was pinned up, and then we wore a white plume that came around the side of it. Because I had to carry those stupid white plumes in my bag, and I could only pass them out right before we went to perform so that they stayed. And if they didn't look right, OT could chew on me. But those hats were like a flocked plastic. So it wasn't really a helmet, but they were heavier than just wearing a cowboy hat.
It provided
Nice.
a little bit of protection, it sounds like, to your head.
Possibly. I think it's probably just because OT was cheap and those were the ones that would work and fit, because our go-go boots were plastic.
Oh my gosh,
the-
he thought it looked cute.
With no arch support.
no, yes.
That's good, Flo.
I can't see that, Michael. Oh, good Lord. That's an 84 annual.
Were those boots uncomfortable?
83.
Yes.
Yes, they
Yes.
were.
What was the
Horribly.
height of the Kay? What was the height of the heels?
I want to
Um,
say they were either 2 or 2.5 inches, and I have or I have flat feet.
Yes, they
So the
are.
arches were horrible. And I remember after game day, I would go home and mother would soak my feet in Epsom salts. They hurt so bad from being in that cold weather that we had. I just remember my feet. And I remember being at Port Aransas going through the parade and just our feet hurting so bad after we got finished with the parade from walking in those horrible, cheap, had zero arch support boots.
Yeah, and that was way
Yes.
before insoles were invented, right?
That's
Oh, yes.
And
Y'all
I
ever wear socks like over your hose, like socks that didn't
Mhm.
show
Yeah.
to give you
Yeah.
extra cushion?
Yes, because they also didn't come in half sizes. So if you wore a 7
No,
and a
you
half
had
or
a
an 8 and a
7
half,
or you had
you-
an 8.
you were out of luck. You either squished your toes into an 8 or you had a way too big or squished your toes in the 7 or had a way too big 8.
So did they last a whole season of football season? I mean, I would imagine when you
Yes.
get a lot of black
Yeah.
smudges on it, it probably wouldn't come out.
Well, you spent a lot of time scrubbing.
Scrubbing.
Polish too.
Yes, because
White
not so much on the black smudges because you'd hit your own foot and it was white plastic, so it didn't really scuff like that. It would scuff more on the ground, but that was the thing. When it was hot outside, it was like you were putting a sauna up over your feet into your calves, especially with those support hose on.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
when
didn't zip them up until you had to go out in the field.
when it was cold, those suckers, cold plastic is hard.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine marching in Corpus with that humidity. Your feet had to have been so swollen.
Uh,
Oh, yes.
and were they tied around the calf?
Mm,
And so they were
Yes.
pretty.
I don't think so.
It depended upon how you were built.
Yeah. And I guess they were pretty waterproof.
Definitely waterproof.
Yeah, plastic. How much? Does anybody remember how much they were, or did the band provide them?
We didn't. I don't remember paying.
The band provided them. We
Yeah.
didn't
Okay.
have to pay for them.
Okay.
Okay. Who all remembers having to wear the berets?
I do.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
The what?
We actually sometimes during I know we did during the parade and stuff, we had like a maroon, like a beret that
Mhm.
we
Oh, okay. Beret. Okay, my bad. Oh, I don't remember you guys wearing that.
I remember that because I remember Jolie looking at her, and I always thought she was so beautiful, and you're still beautiful, and thinking you look like a Parisian, French girl with the beret on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Hey, by the way,
remember that.
Jolie, you're in my shit list right now. Where's my cap? You're not wearing my cap.
Okay, I feel so bad. I left it back in Florida. I'm in Texas now visiting my
Oh,
parents, and
I'm
I
joking.
cannot
I'm kidding.
believe I walked off without that. Yeah,
It's so good.
Hey,
right.
hey,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
told you to send me a cap. or
Well, you
a
gotta send me
t-shirt.
money. You
Yeah,
gotta
you
send
gotta
me
send it
money.
money.
No, I ain't paying money.
I
I'm
ain't gonna
paying
send it
for
for
this
free.
right now, Vato.
And I drop about 500 every time when I order caps and shirts. So
Nah, no,
It's
no.
worth it, Jeanette. It's worth paying.
No. He can do a bonus.
It supports our program.
yeah,
Yes.
supports.
He can do
You
it.
know how much money it is to get a what the hell? I just went a copyright on this thing, and I had to go get a
Mhm.
business name for it. I had to do all this crap for my
Oh,
accounting.
Queen Chingal,
Yeah, I did.
Vato.
Yeah, exactly.
Licensing fees and all that.
Mhm.
Bese mi culo, cambrona.
Yeah, Vato.
So anyway, ladies, so what was some of the most fun? I'll start with Stephanie about being in the Rifle Corps, and of course, not being in the Flag Corps. That's probably number one. But what's number two?
Um,
You know, I'm gonna
I
talk
just
shit when
think
you
it
guys.
was
No, go ahead.
you're just bound and determined to get us in trouble with
Well,
all
when
of
I
them,
had the
aren't you?
Flag Corps, I'm gonna talk shit about you guys. But go ahead.
You better wait to do the
No,
Flag
you
Corps
better
until you're
watch it,
live
Michael.
and have a call-in segment so we can review.
There you go.
I will be
Anyways,
on
all right.
the post.
My bad, Stephanie. All right.
I think it's just getting to spend more time with these girls and stuff because, you know, just the practices and learning the routines and everything. We just became a lot closer group and stuff with, you know, being on the Corps together.
That's cool. Well, did y'all practice a lot at home? Oh, I mean, was there additional practices that like maybe Kay or Jana will call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember going to
Recall
people's
or-
houses to do practices.
Okay. What about you, Kay? Any fun?
I think for me, I didn't really love the instrument part of being in band. I was wanting to be a performer from the time I was very, very young, and which is a whole other story within itself. But for me, getting out and, you know, performing in front of an audience, having high standards that OT put in front of us, to me, that was what was really important, was excelling and doing well. I absolutely loved the band trips that we took together and getting on all of those buses. I thought we were such big people, like grown-ups, being able to get on those coach charters and go to all the football games and being able to go to Port Aransas to march in the parade. I just thought it was such a incredible moment in time. Being in high school, being able to do this, being with your friends, having a good time, you know, going on those band trips that we went on, the overnights, you know, chuckling, you know, telling jokes in the bus, and just the camaraderie. Those are times that are very, very special to me, that, you know, not everybody has those in high school. And I just felt really, really blessed to have those moments with these ladies. And let me tell you why we don't crap talk, because we're ladies, and that's why we don't crap talk.
You're Rifle Corps.
I know, but we're ladies. We're not going to talk bad about the Flag Corps. Those were our friends. Those were our friends.
You know, I was gonna ask you some. What can you share, like a story from Buccaneer Day or anything
Oh,
funny?
I
Or the
have
beach?
I have a really good story. And I apologize, my dog is in my lap almost. My senior year, which was, you know, I'm going to flash forward. All of the years were fun and a blast, but my senior year, we went to eat at Luby's, and somewhere probably in San Antonio area. I don't remember exactly where it was, and I got food poisoning. So Brent Eberhardt's mother, Erna, was on the trip with us as a sponsor, and Brent was my neighbor down the street. And I remember Coach's wife came to our room, and I said, "I am not well. Something is not right." And all of a sudden, I just got violently ill. And I remember getting to take a ferry ride to the hospital in the ambulance, and Brent's mother, Erna, was with me, just holding my hand and saying, "Sweetheart, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay." And I ended up getting back the next morning and flying home to Plainview, Texas, and totally missed the whole trip. And that was something I really missed. And that was my senior trip. But I remember us being, you know, prior years, getting to run on the beach and getting in the water, and, you know, trying to avoid the jellyfish being stung, and just having a good time preparing meals. I didn't know how to cook. I remember Lori Assiter, I roomed with her one year. I can't remember what year it was. And I remember I said, well, I don't know, what are we going to just buy fruit or something? And she said, no, I know how to cook. I'll take care of it. She said, we're going to buy some hamburger helper. And I'm like, what the heck is hamburger helper? And I just remember how funny it was. And, we were kids and we were trying new things and new experiences. And it was just such a great time. It was just such a great time. All the trips I went, all 4 years were great, except for my senior. And of course, that was when I got sick, which that was not fun.
Well, don't feel bad. I only went on my freshman trip. After that, I couldn't go because of baseball. Baseball kept me from going to the other.
And I
the other 3
remember
trips.
Leanne Mayberry one year, I guess it was my junior year. One of my years, Leanne Mayberry got so sunburned that she literally laid on the bottom of the bus, the charter and the coach, and had towels down and laid on her stomach because her back was so red and blistered. I remember that. I don't remember what year that was. Does anybody remember that?
No.
I remember getting sunburned pretty badly, but I don't remember.
Maybe it was just because she was on my bus. Yeah. And I remember Keith Bell's mom always made cookies. And we would beg for her to go ahead and pass out cookies. She said, no, let's wait. Because he was on our bus one year. And I remember she made cookies and passed out cookies for the whole bus. And we thought that was kind of cool too.
That's
Just
pretty
getting
cool.
homemade cookies.
What about you, Stephanie? Any funny memories from being on the Rifle Corps? If it's practice, home game, or trip?
Okay, I can remember it was the first year that we were actually in, the big band, because we were also, our freshman year, we were freshman band, so we didn't get to go up to the big band until our sophomore year. And we had, Jana, you guys will remember these, we had skirts that we also used as a cape. And we used it we had it on during the game. And then at part of during the routine, we actually had to take it off and use it during the routine. And there was a part on the sideline where we went down on one knee with the rifle on the ground. And when I came up, my rifle was on my skirt and my skirt didn't come up. I mean, we have our shorts on underneath and stuff, but I didn't have my skirt. And so I didn't know what to do. I just kind of kicked it off to the side and kept going because it was oh my gosh, what do I do? And the bad thing was on Monday morning, we're sitting in the band hall and, we're in there and we're reviewing the tape of halftime. And all of a sudden OT goes, Little Morgan, where are you?
Oh no.
I'm like, what did I do? And he said something about what happened about that. And he goes, you were in the right. Keep going. I was like, whew, got out of that one.
That's cool.
I hated those skirts.
Out by OT.
I know. I can imagine. Scary to be called out by him.
Yeah, he called every. Yeah, if he didn't call you out, you didn't.
Speaking of, so whose idea was it to do the skirt thing? Who introduced that idea?
Not
Janet?
mine.
It wasn't you?
It'd have to be
No, it
Jeannie
was
Pinnell.
not mine.
What, Jolie?
Jolie?
It would have to be Jeannie Pinnell because she kind of created dances that we did. Because at one point we all did a dance routine. So I think she was the one that probably came up with.
God did a dance routine? Really?
Anytime the flags, the twirlers, and the rifles were put together, it was her fault.
Oh yeah.
No, I should say it was
So,
her idea.
sure.
Okay,
Her idea.
what kind of
Yeah.
dance routine did you guys do? Move hips?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it was.
well, you did some with your hips, but you twirled that. You ripped it off. It had Velcro, and you ripped it off, and you twirled it over your head.
The matador dance.
Matador. Yeah, it was like a matador. I remember.
Okay.
I remember marching or twirling to Let's Get Physical.
Yes.
Weird jumping jack thing. Kind of goofy.
It wasn't goofy back then, though. It was very cool. I loved watching that.
Oh, thanks. That's
I
neat.
know. I thought it was so cool. We weren't just cheering for the football team. We were cheering for the band.
Aw, thank
Yeah,
you.
we're cheering for the
Yeah.
Rifle Corps. So Jeanette, come on, you got some cool stories. At least one or two.
Oh, no. No, I ain't gonna tell no stories.
Not for this show.
Not gonna tell no stories. Band buses trips were great.
I heard about some of those trips.
What happened on bus 5 stayed on bus 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Band buses were trips.
How did your sister treat you, Jeanette? Her being in there and you were the youngest. I mean, yeah,
Oh,
the baby.
no. My sister was gone by the time I
Yeah.
got on there.
Stephanie and Vanessa were the only sister crew at the same time.
No,
Oh.
Liz, I was a freshman. Liz was a senior, so I didn't get into Rifle Corps till my sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I guess, Jolie, we're the only class that we joined as a freshman. So that's how badass we were back then. So
Of course.
yeah.
Or maybe y'all were so bad.
No, we were so good. They just like,
No,
they were
the
scouting us
class
in
of
6th grade.
82 left such a big hole. We needed the class of 83 to come in and help fill up for the classes coming up behind us.
Yeah. So, ladies, you remember that the circle? Well, when John Wright will go, like he would sneak in between, and he had the dumbass flags. I mean, excuse me, the flags. Were you guys part of that circle? Or just the flags, wasn't it? It was just the flags.
Just the flags.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better with you guys doing it, but like military, it would have been cool. But John, yeah, he did very well. He hit those notes, so especially that high one. So
that was amazing.
yes,
Anytime I hear that song, I'm like, ooh, I remember him.
I don't even remember the song. What song was it?
I think our choreography on that had us split down half on one side of the field and half on the other.
Yep.
What was your most memorable performance? Like to a song or a particular routine that just like you loved it, you loved performing it? Jolie, I'm going to start with you.
Oh goodness. Dead time. Okay, so my most memorable is just I was always a big chicken. Everything made me scared. And so I was always so nervous before every single performance. But I think one particular performance, I remember really being excited because I wasn't scared. And that was on the fight song or something like that we were playing. I was like, hey, I know this. I'm not going to forget. Because every time I thought I was going to go out there, my mind was going to go blank. But I do remember watching, we were kind of in competition with the Monterey Rifle Corps. So I remember every time we played Monterey, watching the Rifle Corps just real closely, and then just being real nervous because I thought that they were probably watching us real closely. And so I guess most memorable was anytime we played Monterey.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on other shows. I think rivalries are good because they make you better. I think that's the benefit of having a rival that, it's, you want to be better than them and they are good and so it makes you want to be better and you end up performing better. But there's also admiration of them. They're a rival, but you admire how good they are. And so you want to really stand out when you play them.
Yeah.
So Jana, were they the only other team that we in our conference that had Rifle Corps? And if it was, were they the first or was Plainview?
No, Plainview was the first to pull up a corps.
Okay.
The Monterey Corps came to the Tech Band Camp during one of the weeks where I was a coach. So I had a bit of a hard time. They brought their whole corps and they had to attend. So for me, having them, performing against them was kind of difficult because I had been their coach in the summertime and then we performed against them during the fall. during the games and then during competition. So that was a bit tricky, not showing any favoritism or emotion against anyone else.
Interesting.
Getting to see that. And so I mean, I had a I won't say completely different perspective, but I had a lot rifle wise going on other than just for Plainview. And Julie had nightmares about forgetting the routine. I had nightmares about, oh my gosh, am I doing the right routine? Am I starting to do one that I taught to somebody else to do? And going through that. But it was such fun, and a definite part of my high school memories that I wouldn't trade for anything.
That's awesome. So after those games, when you played Monterey, would you ever go and say hi to them afterwards?
Yes, well, we did it at halftime. We always did an officer exchange.
Okay.
And because I was the corps captain, I always went to the other side. So I would get to see them whenever we did it. I want to say my senior year, Coronado came up with a corps as well. But Monterey pulled theirs up my junior year, and then Coronado pulled one together my senior year.
Okay.
But so it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'd get to see him, and of course we had the good-natured ribbing about, you're with those losers. Nah, you should move. You should come be with us, and the same thing.
Becky, what about you? Can you share like a memorable or a really, really fun experience?
I think it's been 40 years and I've blocked so much out. With the few memories I had.
And you're the one with the rifle. Okay.
I do have a rifle. I have a shirt somewhere too, but I couldn't find it.
Now hold on to the rifle, maybe through like osmosis or something. The memories will just
Nope.
surge into your brain.
Not working.
But
Not
you
working.
homeschooled.
I
homeschooled, so
as a
you had to relearn all that
block
stuff
that trauma
all over
out for my kids.
Yeah.
But no, pleasant memories, joyful memories. I liked being part of a group that was kind of, I feel like we were kind of close knit. We were together. We had a camaraderie. I like that. I like taking the band trips. Weirdly, the bus trips were always fun. You say we're not supposed to tattle on whatever happened on the buses, but I do remember getting called into the office with a bunch of us because there was alcohol or something was passed around. But I was such a ninny and naive. I had no idea. They were like, did you pass this ball? I'm like, I have no idea. But yeah, just weird things like that. It's kind of like Jolie being terrified that I would forget or drop, or marching contests that somehow I would be responsible for our band losing our number one spot. That was always weighing heavily, I think, on all of us. We didn't want to be that year to mess it all up. But it was a fun time. I'm glad that I did it. Glad y'all let me. Yeah.
Nice. Well, next, who wants to do a K?
Do y'all remember the year we went to contest and right before we hit the field, there were marbles everywhere? Do y'all remember that?
What year?
I can't remember what year it was, but I remember either we entered the field from two different sides. I can't remember. And we were on the far side, and I remember there were marbles on the ground, and I want to say it was Monterey that was before us that performed. It was when we were at contest. I can't remember what year that was. I can't remember what year. Does anybody else remember that?
Can't say that I do.
Did you dream it?
No, it was real. I'm pretty for sure I didn't dream it, but I remember, and it might have been my senior year, and I think we came from either we entered from two different sides of the field. I can't remember exactly, but I remember there were, and I remember we stood forever before contest started, and I guess somebody yelled OT, and I remember either he came over or one of the judges came over. Do y'all not remember that?
I do. I think it was
Was it our senior
84.
year? Was it my
I think
senior
it was
year?
84.
But didn't they stop? Weren't we there for a long period? Didn't they have us in
Yes.
queue forever? And either they sent somebody over to pick them up off the ground or something.
And then, of course, we had a band party at the First Presbyterian Church, and
Uh-huh.
Lisa Smith and I made them peanut butter and pickle sandwiches, and
Oh,
they
I think I
loved
re-
them.
Oh, is that right?
They loved them. And
I
I
don't
was
remember
like,
that
Dude, that
part.
sounds
"What the heck?"
disgusting.
Oh my gosh, they're the bomb, Michael. You need to try them.
I
Peanut
want to like
butter and pickles. Oh my goodness. Okay.
But no, because we
Were you
had
stoned?
we had
Just
a
kidding.
party at the church, and Lisa and I made peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
She was a lot of fun.
Oh yes, she was.
Cool. What about you, Jolie?
My good memories. Let me see, I was pretty shy, and Lynn Blake was like really,
She was a blonde, wasn't she?
yes, very confident, like extremely self-confident. And so it really meant a lot to me that Lynn was like nice to me and included me and stuff. And so that was really special. Then just fun memories of us piling into the car. It was like before seatbelt laws. So we could get like 10
Yeah.
people in a car.
Were we
and
going to Nazareth?
No. No, we went to
Mr.
drove
Burger.
right into the football stadium so that we could practice at the stadium. And so I remember one time the song Whip It was on, and it was the first time I ever heard Whip It. And so Lynn Blake was singing it, and she thought it said, we be good. And so she was singing, we be good. And that was just so funny. And so every time I hear the song Whip It, I picture like 10 of us in the car with it going really loud, and Lynn Blake saying, we be good. So
Song came out our senior year.
is that what it was? No,
No,
it had to be
our junior year. It came out our junior year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
so I
I'll
just-
share a quick story, and
Okay.
I've shared this on 2 other band ones where somehow I ended up being the DJ for the Coronado after football party. The kids came and they would have dance for like 30 minutes or something. But anyway, they brought me the B-52s album. I'm like, okay, and remember, guys, we're listening to heavy metal back then. All the hair bands. I'm like, who's the B-52s? And I see these 2 chicks with big old beehives. Well, anyway, play this one here. I'm like, okay. And they played Rock Lobster. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Love it. Yeah.
And then they're all dancing, and they get on the floor, kick their legs up in the air. I'm like, hell no, this has got to come off as soon as possible. But that was my, first taste of, I guess, alternative or new wave music. So, but anyway, Stephanie.
Oh gosh. I don't know if there's one that sticks out above the other ones. I guess the most memorable, routine that we ever did was the one that we've already talked about, where, the flags and the raffles did our flag toss, and then there was the step over. I don't think there's any routine out there that we did anywhere in there that can compete with that one.
Mhm.
Okay. Jeanette left. Who's next? Jana? Have we asked you yet?
No, but I will tell you that that part of that was part of my most memorable as well. But when we got to go to Austin and compete at the state level, because we won in our district, and then we won in our region, and we went to state, and just knowing that we were going to be the winners and all being in the stands there and waiting for them to announce and hurry up and hurry up. And we ended up the
See?
runners up.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were just one
And
band from playing that night, performing.
and it was you know, that with the whole time I kept thinking, did we screw up? Was it our fault? Was it one of us? And it wasn't. But all the things that run through your mind.
Can I go ahead and say whose
Um,
fault it was?
Was it
Flags.
yours?
Flags.
There's the flags.
Sorry, Janet, go ahead.
But that's a really special memory that we got to go and do that. But as everyone has alluded to, just as I said, we had 6 and then 7 in the Corps, and we were the smallest group. The twirlers would have been next, and then of course the Flag Corps usually had 20 to 30 there. But we had a small, very tight-knit group. We all diverse, very diverse interests. When you looked at us, you'd think the only thing we had in common was that we were in band, and then we joined the Rifle Corps. But in band, none of us even played the same thing. But even though we had outside friends, you always knew that if you needed something, or if there was you needed an alibi or bail, you could always call one of those ladies and they'd take care of you.
That's cool. That's real cool. Hey, I do want to ask this. Was there ever a performance any year that was perfect? No one dropped the rifle. I mean, it was just no mistakes whatsoever. Wow. There's not
Um,
mistake free.
No.
I think there was several games that everybody did really well. If I remember,
No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
the whole group.
you mean the
For the
whole
most
The whole
part,
rifle corps, the rifle corps.
for
Oh
one
yeah,
game? For
yeah,
one
dude,
game?
exactly. I just remember a rifle
Competition
what?
for any like performance or competition game, whatever.
Yeah.
Like we just were in the zone.
As a team, and there was not one single mistake in that one performance. Well, or was there several?
We
I
wouldn't
want to
know.
say
Yeah, we
that,
would
that,
know.
that as long as you finish the routine with a rifle in your hands and at the same relative time as everyone else, it was counted as a win. It was very hard. You have to realize we'd have 6 or 7 people doing these spins at the same time, and hitting that rifle and spinning it at the exact same height, the exact same time, that would be the definition of perfect.
Okay.
And
Exactly.
there probably wasn't anything ever like that, but there were a lot of we all finished on the same foot with our rifles in our hand at the same time as the music stopped.
Cool. Okay. All right. Uh, did any of the guys try out?
I don't remember trying out with any guys.
No one.
No.
Was there any guys interesting? I mean, I'm not interested. I know it's 40 plus years ago, but
Not that I ever heard.
no. Okay.
No.
All right. All right. Well, next question, Lisa. What do you have?
Well, I want to go into high school. I want to know, what teacher or teachers had an impact on you, or just really left an indelible imprint on you, or helped you, or if there's a special teacher that you hold in your heart.
Or band director, yeah, or anyone like that. Yes.
Or band director, either. I know y'all Everybody in this group has talked about what a hard ass OT was. That has been clearly established in this show tonight. But I'm going to start with Stephanie.
Oh wow, why'd you start with me?
Okay, you're not ready.
It was question number 13.
I know it's on the
Number
paper.
13.
You know, Coach, was probably my favorite. And, anybody that had Coach as your actual like band director during, non-concert season and stuff. I just love Coach to death. I still talk to him a lot on Facebook. Outside of band, I don't know if anybody ever had him. It's actually Patrick Smith's dad. He was one of my math teachers one year, and I really liked his dad. And math is not my best subject, never was, never will be. But he actually made it fun that year.
Cool.
Wonderful. I never had him as a teacher.
Did I?
What about you?
I'll say OT. I appreciate what he taught me. He taught me how to pray that he would not see me. Dear Lord, let him not see me. Let me fly under the radar. Please, Lord, don't let him call on me for those clapping and counting practices. So I appreciate that. Other than that, Pam Kendall, she taught world history and Latin. I had her for Latin for 2 years. And I just feel like she knew how to connect with students and inspire them, motivate them. She just had a very personable teaching style. I don't remember anything about Latin though. So yeah.
Wonderful.
Veni Vidi Vici?
That's it. That's all. Yeah, that's all I got.
What the hell did you just say?
I came, I saw, I conquered. Vinny, Vicky.
Nice.
Okay, so you're next.
Who, me?
Jana.
Oh, me? Oh, I thought you said Jeanette too.
Oh, Jana.
Well, interestingly enough, I had a very unique relationship with OT. I had it in my head I wanted to do something, and he had it in his head that he didn't want to mess with success. And so we butted heads quite a bit. I played the flute. There were some that said I was good at it, but I did not like to practice. And then there was Diana Hayes Sizemore, who was fabulous at it. So I was like, yeah, I'm not ever going to be the best. I don't want to do that. So I came up with the Rifle Corps. And so we enjoyed that. As far as outside of band, there were those teachers who left an impression on me that I'll never forget. One of whom was Bob Dixon in geometry, and oh my gosh, his theorems. You will remember. And all I remember is that I will remember. And then there were those that just made an impression because they seemed to care not only about their students, but about everybody as a whole. And one of the ones that I think did that the very best was Deborah Canterbury. Everybody called her Cantor. And she just she was a mentor, but she was also a friend. So she left a big impression as well from my high school time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, Miss Jeanette, you're next.
Okay, well, of course, OT and Coach Killian, I loved him. But the one that I have to say is I can't remember her first name. It's Hofsummer. She was my senior year English teacher, and she taught me so much. Did y'all have Hofsummer? Anybody?
I don't
No.
remember her.
I had Mrs. Young when I was my senior year.
Yeah.
No.
But no,
But
she taught me so much. She was the one that taught me that I could go to college, and of course, I didn't graduate from college, but it's okay.
Do you feel
that's
like,
okay.
do you feel like she motivated you and saw something in you that maybe you didn't see in yourself?
Oh my gosh, yes, she did.
Oh, we
She
just
was
lost someone.
she was the one that told me that I could go out and I could conquer the world. Her name
Oh,
is Sandy Hoffsummer. I don't know if y'all remember her.
I don't.
I don't remember.
Uh,
No, but that's
Uh-uh.
wonderful. It doesn't matter if you didn't finish college. It's the impact and that somebody believed in you and made you believe in yourself. And that's
absolutely.
important. That's what we want to walk away from in high school, that, somebody sees you, you know?
Hey, welcome back.
My battery died on my laptop.
Oh,
Hey, what about you?
who, Lisa?
Okay.
Oh, me?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry, I cut out. For me, OT, I think, taught me a level of excellence and to not expect anything but excellence from myself. I think he was probably pretty predominant in that. And I know this sounds weird, but I hear him and his voice a lot in my lifetime, and I reflect on that. Believe it or not, do y'all remember Principal George, Steve George's dad?
Mhm.
I know this sound, I didn't have like a close relationship with him or anything, but he, for some reason, really stood out to me as a person who really supported all of us kids in school. I remember when I graduated from high school, of course, Steve was in my class. I passed him. I think we were after a graduation ceremony, and I just said, I said, it was nice knowing you. Thank you so much for being such an integral part of our education, something along those lines. And I remember him saying, you've got a lot to offer. And if you ever need anything, you pick up the phone and call me. I will be a good reference for you. And I remember that is one of the only teachers that I remember saying that to me headed off to college. And that was very impactful, and it really hit home to me. And I didn't really have a whole lot of interaction with him. But that was really impactful to me.
I bet. Did you feel in that moment like, oh, like he actually knows who I am?
Yeah, he knows me. He noticed me. Yeah, I mean, and we had a huge graduating class, and to have someone who was a person of position saying that to you at 17, 18 years old, it was really awe-inspiring. I have a lot of college professors that really imprinted me a lot more than any of my high school for whatever reason. And maybe I was just a late bloomer. Maybe I was not ready to, see those things or experience those things, but yeah.
That's wonderful. Jolene, did I already ask you? No, I haven't asked you. Okay.
No, okay, so I have a couple of stories. First, I guess OT would be my favorite, and I have a story about him that I love this memory. I had gone home or back to wherever my relatives live and came back with one of those antique records that's like 88 RPMs. I don't know if y'all remember those. And I brought it just to show OT at school. And he was like, oh, put it on, because they had a record player. And so he put on the record player, and it was Beer Barrel Polka. And for some reason, the band room had been cleared of all the chairs. And he was like, hey, you want to dance? And I'm
No
like,
way.
Oh, wow.
what? And so he grabbed me in his arms and we did the polka
I love it.
all around the band
Oh my gosh, I
room.
love it.
And I was like, this is so much fun. And I was holding on for dear life because I grew up not dancing. And so I didn't really totally know what I was doing, but it was an absolute blast. And so,
Dang. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
was
too bad you didn't have one of these back then. Someone could
totally.
have filmed y'all.
Yeah. And then I love Mrs. Kendall because I had her 3 years for World History and Latin 1 and 2. So I loved her. But then I have a
Love
funny
them.
story about Mrs. McCullough. Does anybody remember her? She was an art teacher and then an English teacher.
Yes.
I think someone brought her
Yes.
name on one of the last shows, Lisa. McCall, someone did, I think.
Class of
Go ahead.
82, yes.
She was hilarious, without trying to be hilarious. She was telling us the story about how I think her neighbor's cat got on her roof and pooped all over her roof, and it was stinking. And so she was so upset that she got her vacuum cleaner, climbed up
Ugh.
the roof, and was like vacuuming up the cat poo. I was like, ah.
Ah,
I mean, I
I
laughed.
hope it wasn't a home vacuum.
oh, it was not back. Oh boy. Yeah,
Oh
you don't
my God.
get a story like that.
Mhm.
Let's go back to the polka. All right. Who's next? Becky, I guess.
I think you asked me that already.
Okay. Who's next?
Everybody's gone. Everybody's gone.
Well,
On that-
let's talk about the bad stuff y'all may have done. Of course, not this group. But
Didn't add the
Jolie, did you ever get licks and why?
In first grade, I lived in this town called Pleasanton, and I
They
talked all
gave
the
you
time.
licks at
Mhm.
first grade. Okay,
Yeah.
what'd you do?
I cried.
You cried and you got
Yeah,
licks? Were you
but I'm
playing
talking.
baseball or what?
What?
You're playing baseball?
I kept on talking, so I kept getting licks. So
All right, Becky.
Yeah, I got licks. In the 8th grade, Mr. Giddings, he had just this weird way of trying to teach us how to march. And if we'd have to march past him, and if we didn't have our knees lifted high enough, he'd swat us with the paddle. And to
Where?
this day, I think that's just creepy that he did that. Yeah.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
that was the only licks I ever got.
you couldn't get away with that now. What
No,
about you, Jan?
no.
What about Miss Captain Jana? What about you?
Mine also came in the first grade. You learned that lesson and it never happened again. But when I was in the first grade, I'll never, it was Jane Llewellyn. And the reason it was only one lick, but we were in the cafeteria at lunchtime and none of my friends seemed to like the sliced tomatoes. So we picked them up and we were using them like frisbees at each other. And you know what they say about the first person never gets caught, but the last one does?
Oh, absolutely.
Guess who was last?
That was you.
And yes, so that happened. Well, my mom was a school teacher at that time, and she had always told me that, well, through first grade here, but you get in trouble at school, you'll get in twice as much trouble at home.
Oof. Did
And
you?
so, man, I kept my mouth shut. I was not going to explain about the tomatoes in the cafeteria. Well, of course, it was at the beginning of school. And so then we have the first PTO night, and all the parents come and we're there. And what does the teacher say? Oh, I'm so sorry I had to give Jana a lick for that tomato incident in the cafeteria.
Oh.
Boom. Yeah, was not happy, but I can definitely say never did I get another lick in my school career.
That's cool. But Jeanette, I know you got several. Why?
No, you know I'm an angel.
Uh-huh.
Thank God Alfred Henderson is passed away, so he can tell you the truth.
So what'd you do?
Okay, so who was the freshman band director?
King? J.W. King?
Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't play my instrument right. He'd send me to see Alfred all the time.
What instrument did you play?
I played oboe.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's tough.
And he said I could have been a first chair oboe, but I just wouldn't. I wouldn't practice. I wouldn't play. And he sent me to the office. And Alfred and I became really, really good friends.
I bet. I bet. Stephanie, did you get licks?
I got licks in 5th grade. It
Why?
was not my fault.
Uh-huh. That's
And
what
that's
they
my
all
story,
say.
and I'm sticking to it.
What did you not do?
Well, okay, so in 5th grade, after lunch, you could either go outside to recess or you could go stay in your class if you had like work to do. And there was a bunch of us. I was in Miss Johnson's class. And for whatever reason, there was probably more than half of our class had stayed in after recess and was in the room. And I don't even remember who the 2 girls were now, but I had gotten up to go to the back of the class to go get a dictionary, you know, those big books that have words in them that you don't use anymore. And they started having like a push shove little match. And when Miss Johnson came back in, she had asked, was anybody, you know, how everybody acted. And those 2 didn't get in trouble. It was me and Carrie Dunlap.
Of
And we got
course.
called out in the hall and we both got licks.
Who gave
And
them to you?
Miss Johnson did.
Oh, my bad. Yes. Okay.
Wow, and you didn't get
Okay.
a chance to defend yourself?
No, not. We tried telling her that it wasn't us and she wouldn't listen to us.
So, did anybody get licks from McBee?
Well,
I worked in office
Michael.
my freshman year.
I worked
And
in my senior year.
I've heard some that got licks from
Oh.
McBee, and I would not have ever wanted them.
Oh, yeah.
Michael,
was a
did you
senior
get
year.
licks from McBee?
No. I only got licks in 7th grade. That was the only time. I was like Jana and everyone else. Once I got them, I didn't. I was good. I was an athlete. I had to be good. I couldn't do anything wrong.
Oh,
Never did.
whatever.
So anyway, Kay, what about you?
Believe it or not, I got licks in kindergarten from Mr.
Oh, wow.
Deerdorf. And the only thing I can remember, it was inside the building. Everybody was outside. And I remember I came in to go to the bathroom and then I was going to grab something out of my lunchbox. Who knows what it was. And he was in that area and said, "What are you doing inside?" And I said, "I'm getting something out of my lunchbox." And I remember him like spanking me all the way out the door. Now, it wasn't like a bad spanking, of course. It wasn't like bad licks because I was in kindergarten. But I thought, I cannot believe I'm getting in trouble. But yeah, I probably I just walked in the door to go and didn't ask if I could do it. So that's probably why I got in trouble. But yeah, kindergarten, Mr. Deerdorf.
You know, one thing we didn't ask, Kay, what instrument did you play?
The clarinet, and I still
Clarinet.
have my clarinet. I have these 6 totes that are like things that are important to me throughout my life. I'm not a collector, but that clarinet is in one of my totes that I keep. And one of these days when I'm in the old folks home, I'm going to get out those 6 little totes and I'm going to go through memory lane. But yeah, I still have my clarinet. I don't have the lung capacity to play it anymore, but I still have it.
Nice. Cool. Stephanie, what did you play?
Tenor sax.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Okay. Because I'd seen Becky.
Flute, and I still
Flute.
have it, kind of like Kay.
Oh, you too, huh?
Yeah.
I know Janet flute, Jolie clarinet,
And I
and
still
then
have
the
mine
oboe.
too.
Dang.
Yeah,
I-
and I played my clarinet like in church performances for years afterward. So that was pretty neat. That was
Nice.
fun. Mhm.
Were any
That's
of you
cool.
in band in college?
Mm-mm.
Too burned out. I was so
Couldn't
burned
afford it. I had to pay for classes. I couldn't pay for the fun stuff.
So
Jobs in
I
What-
college.
wasn't in the band, but I still worked for Tech
Okay.
at their band camps. But
yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
want to be in the band. And Tech did not have a rifle corps.
ah.
Weird.
So what bus did you guys try to ride in like to the out of town games? You guys remember, Kay? Like what bus did you always
I
ride
don't
in?
remember. I don't remember. I just remember
Mm.
we all ran and tried to get on a certain bus. I don't remember.
Jeanette, what about you?
Oh my God, I was on the third bus.
Okay. Hey, wait, is that the Hispanic bus?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
No,
thought-
that was the drinking bus.
see who brought up drinking a while ago? Was it you? That was Jeanette. Stephanie, what about you?
Bus 5.
Five, okay. And why?
I don't know. I think there was 10 buses, wasn't there?
Something like that. What about you, Stephanie? Why
Five or
that's
five
five?
or six, I think. I don't know. I don't know. It was just that was the very first year that I was there. That was just a lot of the people that I had kind of met and were friends with and stuff. That's where both of the Holloways were at, and I remember riding the bus with them, and that's where I learned how to French braid hair. It's from Teresa and
Nice.
Shirley Holloway.
Oh, nice. Cool. Jolie, remember what bus you rode in?
You know, I don't remember. Was there a bus called the Nerd Bus?
No, they were all numbered,
That's
Jolie.
that
That
was
was
all. It was all the buses. No, I'm kidding, guys. But anyway, all right. You don't remember? Janet, do you remember?
I was always on OT's bus because he always was wanting to go over either what we were going to do for the performance after whichever one we were traveling to, or on the way home. He wanted to discuss what we did and what we could have done better.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So
I
I
didn't
was
realize that.
stuck.
Did you watch film afterwards with them?
Oh yes,
Okay.
hours.
Wow. And that was at the band hall, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Who else am I missing? Kate, did I ask you already? Becky?
I don't remember the number. I remember being on buses with Jolie, with my friend Kara. I don't remember numbers. I
So
do
you're
remember
admitting-
I was never chosen to be bus captain, and that was kind of like, a mark of responsibility. So I guess OT never saw me as being
Yeah.
worthy. But maybe
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
we had to like run, didn't we, to sign in the bus
Mm-hmm.
you wanted? What didn't we? Like there was a certain time, a certain day we had to have to go sign.
So you signed up? You signed up for a bus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if you're the captain, you can choose any seat you wanted.
Yes.
Okay. And so how did you become a captain of the bus?
I think you were chosen.
Yes.
Weren't
I
you
think
chosen?
so
You were
too.
selected.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think most of the
Whichever-
time there were seniors too, right?
Yeah. Your seniority counted, and then whoever your adults were helped to determine. Some of us, sometimes you'd have a band director and sometimes you would just have sponsors. And so if they knew you or something like that, that they would pick. Like I said, I never got the fun part of being able to do that. I was stuck.
Yes, you were.
Oh, you
So guys,
teammate.
back in back in Buccaneers days, do y'all remember or heard about taping of the doors?
Yeah,
Yes.
remember that.
Uh-huh. Was your door still taped in the morning?
I'm pretty sure mine was still taped. I had nowhere to go.
What about you other ladies? Jeanette?
I don't remember that. What happened?
Uh,
No, I
the,
don't
the
remember that.
the chaperones would tape the outside of your door,
To
so if
make
you
sure
snuck
we-
out,
Okay.
yes. So
Yeah, I don't
y'all-
remember
Didn't
that.
know anything about it.
Well, I remember when we got initiated into bandettes. Who remembers that?
I do, and I have an
Yeah.
apology to
I
make.
do.
who
That
did?
Were
Was
they
it?
would-
kidnapped and had to wear pajamas or something.
They
Drug
would
around.
kidnap you in the middle of the night. You had to go out to the cemetery and kiss a headstone.
Why?
I don't know why, but that's how you got into bandits.
Well,
And
that
then
was
the
your big
bandits never
sister.
did anything.
Yeah, it depends on
We
who-
never did
who your
exactly.
big
We
sister
never
is.
did
Nothing.
anything.
Yep.
But I remember my mom told me, she was like, you need to wear real pajamas tonight. You can't just be in a t-shirt and your underwear because the pandettes are gonna come get you. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, you need to be in real pajamas.
I forgot about the bandits. Jolie, what were you
They're
saying?
very forgettable.
Yeah, I have like a huge apology to make, and I can't remember the name of my little sister in bandettes, but I made her slick back her hair with grease and then wear this little planter thing on her head.
Oh,
And she was like begging me, please, 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 I will wear the planter, but don't make me slick back my hair, because she had an interview later that day. I made her slick back her hair, and I feel so
Damn.
bad.
You're like that character from School Days that I forgot her. That yeah, she was mean to all the freshmen. Damn, Jolie.
oh
It was
no,
awful.
Jolie is the
so
evil
bad.
woman.
You.
Y'all just
Oh,
don't know
she was
that.
sweet.
She is evil.
Haven't you ever heard Silent but Deadly?
Exactly.
That's on something else.
But no, I just remember my mom was like, the bandits are gonna come get you. You better have pajamas on. And I was like, oh Lord.
Oh wow. What about you other ladies? Were y'all kidnapped? Okay.
I was kidnapped. I don't really remember much about it, but I remember the young lady that I kidnapped. And I remember she had a crush on one of the football players. And I remember she had a headband made of balloons with his number. We had a t-shirt with his number on it, and she had to wear it. I remember that. So Jolie, you and I both are apologizing now in our
Okay.
latter 50s, early 60s
Yeah.
for what we did as bandettes.
Were they actually balloons?
They were actually balloons. They
Okay.
were not what you think they were. They were actually
Okay.
balloons.
Just wanted to clarify.
But yes, I do owe that young lady, and I can't remember who she was, but I do owe that young lady apology.
Oh, that's cool. What about you, Jenna? Were you?
Oh, I was kidnapped, and I remember it was more my mom didn't tell my dad it was going to happen that night. My dad was furious and was insisting that I was not going to go. And my mom trying to assure him that yes, I was, because it was very important. And ultimately, yeah, I did go. I know that happened. And I vaguely remember being the kidnapper. And I probably do owe someone an apology, but I've slept since then. So, what happened and who it was, I couldn't tell you.
Stephanie?
I remember being kidnapped. It was Stacy Smith was my big sister. I don't remember being the kidnapper.
Does she make you
Kidnapping.
do anything, like put anything on, or
No, The only thing
Like
I
here's a
remember,
headstone.
the only thing that I remember us doing is we went to the Spud Nut shop and had donuts.
You had a
Okay.
nice big sister.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had that idea.
Yeah, Becky?
I don't remember anything traumatizing. That doesn't mean that trauma didn't happen. I don't know. I remember being kidnapped. I just don't remember specifics. And kind of the same way with kidnapping somebody. I'm just like, I don't remember being mean to anybody. So
Good for you. And you looked up to Jolly. Well, ladies, we've been on here for a little over almost 2 hours. Lisa, you want to take over the last part of the show?
Yeah, so we're going to go around the room and just ask you your parting words. So I'll start with Kay.
As far as high school and being in the Rifles, it was a very significant time in my life. I think it has set me up for who I am today. Not everything, but I feel like it's one of those components as we age and grow older. Every experience are like landmarks in our lifetime. And I feel like the experiences we had in band and in the Rifle Corps, specifically also in band, and just competing just really set us up for success. I think that also looking back, very lucky to be raised in a small town with really good values and quality people around you. I don't take that for granted at all, and really love the time that I had growing up in a small town, because it is very different from growing up in a large high school, with thousands of kids. It's very, very different. So I just look back on it as very fond memories. I'm very proud of my contribution for us, getting, sweepstakes every year that I was in school. I feel like I was one of those people, as the rest of the members, that contributed to that. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't go back and do anything differently at all. I just think it was a very valuable experience. And I'm really glad about that phone call that OT made to my mother and said, well, Elizabeth was a twirler, 10 years before me. What's Kay going to do? We have a Rifle Corps. What do you think about that? And I'm really thankful, because I don't know if I would have necessarily reached out to do that. So I'm really glad I did. And by the way, Jana and I were in the Rifle Corps together, and Gina and I were in the Rifle Corps together, and Gina and I were really good friends in high school. So that was a pretty neat experience as well.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Jana?
Oh, I was supposed to get to go last. I'm the oldest.
Okay, let's do that. Let's wait for her to last. That's
Okay. So we're going to, Jeanette, you're next.
Sit your ass down, Jeanette.
Parting words.
Let my dog out. I'm sorry. I have to say love, blessing, and namaste.
Awesome.
Sweet. Short and sweet. Okay. Stephanie?
I'm kind of like Kay. I love cherished band memories. When I think of high school, that's what I remember the most, is all
Belly
of
blue.
our fun
Belly
times. What?
Belly.
Hold on.
No,
That's
sorry.
Can you mute her right now?
I can mute myself.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
All right, Jeanette, you're cutting in my time. That's what I remember the most, is just the fond memories of band and being on the Rifle Corps. And I've got my two boys were in band. They play trombone. And I've talked to my grandkids, and I've kind of like told them about the Rifle Corps, and they're like, "You did what?" And just to share those memories with my kids and my grandkids have been so special, and I just can't imagine not having that experience to be able to share.
By the way, are you going to share this to your kids, the show?
Sure, why not?
There you
Well,
go.
with two, I have my youngest one is in Army boot camp right now, so I don't know that he can
Oh,
see it.
it's on YouTube. Jolie.
First of all, I am really grateful to you and Lisa for having this idea. That is such a cool idea, and I've had a lot of fun listening. I've listened to one show so far, and it was the cheerleaders, and I absolutely loved it. And this is just such a great idea. I am just so thankful to y'all for
Thank you.
coming up with this idea and for actually carrying through with it and doing it. And it's just real special to reminisce. And I have looked at like who's in them and I'm like, oh, I've got to go, I've got to watch this. I got to watch this. I got to watch this. And anyway, that's mine. Thank you so
Well,
much.
suggestion. I know some of these shows are over 2 hours. If you're going out of town somewhere, driving for a while, or if you need to, I don't know, do something for 2 hours, just listen to the audio. A lot of people just listen to the audio because
I should do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you,
Jolie.
Becky. I'm sorry, Lisa. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, this is Michael's brainchild. I'm along for the ride. But we missed you at our reunion.
Oh, thanks.
And this is really just an extension of that, and it's just expanded. It's growing legs. I like to say it's growing legs, and we're having a lot of fun doing this. And
That's
we're
great.
connected
It's
to
an
so many
amazing,
people.
it's
No.
just an amazing idea. I love
No.
it. And I love the name.
Okay, Miss Becky.
I am going to reiterate, I'm thankful that you put this together. I can't go to our reunion this year, but this was kind of like a mini reunion with some very dear people. And I do cherish and just the whole band experience, the rifle experience. I think at that age that I was at and my situation in life, our family, I grew up in a mobile home. I felt like kind of like an outcast. But when I was in band, it didn't seem to matter. And belonging to a small group like the Rifles just gave me that sisterhood that I was looking for. And it gave me pleasant memories of high school. It
Nope.
gave me helped to build my confidence. I had
Nope.
very
Nope.
little confidence, but being on the rifle in the rifle group helped to build that. So I'm thankful that I had that opportunity.
Oh, that was nice. Nice. Well, you're
Last but
last.
not least.
So again, thank you too for the idea of the talk and for considering the Rifle Corps as being an integral part of PHS history and wanting to bring us on. I'm particularly thankful to Jolie
Oh,
as being the only other 3-year member of my corps. I spent the first 2 years thinking she really didn't like me because as Kay came along and told me, she's just shy. She really likes you or she wouldn't be here. And
thanks, Kay.
You're welcome.
but getting to know people outside of my comfort zone, it was real easy when I worked at Tech because gee, I didn't have to see those people again. The ladies in this group I had to come see every single day, and I had to answer to whether I had a good idea or a bad idea, or if I'd had a good day or a bad day, depending upon how much OT or coach had decided to chew on me. But being a part of something that was new and exciting and different was something I'll never forget. It's a memory I'll always cherish. I know when I met my husband and we were involved in different things, and of course, he was in the Army, and one of the first things we did together before we married were to go on a unit event, and they had some of the guys that were practicing to be the rifle guards for a flag ceremony. And right away I said, they're not doing that right. And the first sergeant looks at me and he says, they're what? And my husband's like, could you please be quiet? And I took one of their rifles and said, no, this is how a salute should be done. And so I was able to take something that had come from my past and bring it toward my future. That meant a lot to me. The camaraderie and the respect that we gave each other was very important. Not only to me, but I think to everyone as a whole, because at the time, high school can either make you or break you. And the cliques were there. And I'm sure there were probably some that felt like that those rifle girls were in a clique of their own, but it was more of a family, in my opinion. And we worked well together. We did things together. What one suffered, we all suffered. Whether it was a loss, or a bad night, or bad grade on a test. We all kind of pitched in and helped each other because we were all a part of it. We all had a group that we could turn to that would understand one way or the other. And that's kind of what's followed me through 40 odd years of life.
Very nice.
That's
Very
wonderful.
nice said. Yeah, well, nice said. Well, before I turn it over to Lisa for her parting words, let's go back to the flags. Of course, I'm going to reach out to them and see if they'll do a show with many of them. I have to do 2 or 3 more. Who knows? 2 or 3 shows with them. So I'm going to start with Jeanette. Who would you challenge from the flags to be on our show? Name just 1 or 2 people.
Oh, dude, I don't even remember any flags.
That's a good answer.
Hey,
No.
you know who somebody would be a good person to talk to is Brenda Sims. She was a rifle. She was a flag. She could give you the best of both worlds.
Okay. Nice. Anyone else?
Kara Oglesby.
Okay.
I remember her. She was a flag. Other than that, I don't think I remember any flags.
Okay.
I think Christy K. Bennett, wasn't she in band?
Christy K was a
I mean,
flag.
Jancy Schwam,
Jancy
wasn't
was a
she? Yeah,
flag.
Jancy. I would reach out to them.
So who
Debbie
was the
Goldie
second one?
was a flag.
Christy K. Bennett and
Okay.
Jancy Schwam.
Okay. All right. Stephanie?
Debbie Goldie was a flag.
Okay. Jana?
Donna Freeze, Donna Burnett
Yes.
Dawn was a
was a
flag.
flag.
Hey.
Rosa Pereira was a flag.
Yeah.
Rosa was before
Oh,
she.
Yeah,
And
that-
Elizabeth Coltrane.
That was about to be my next word.
Yeah.
And I know there was a lot of lovely ladies that did that,
Mhm.
but those are about the only 2 names that I really, other than what has already been mentioned. And I can't say that I remembered them until you said their names. And oh yeah, they were in the Flag Corp.
Okay.
Not that we didn't like them, but they had their deal and we had ours.
Jolie?
Yeah, Melissa Coleman for sure. Melissa
Okay, she's been on our show. So
She's
I'm
on
going to say one
our
more thing. I saw my note here. Does this person remember writing or saying thanks PHS for most of the memories? It was your senior quote. Who said
No,
that?
not at all. She would never remember that.
Who said that? I think it was you,
Jolie's
Jolie.
laughing the
I
hardest.
think it's Jolie. You said it, Jolie.
Did I say it?
Yes, you did. No. It was Jana. No, it was Jana.
Was it
Jana
That's why
said
I
it.
said
My bad.
she would
Yeah.
never say something like
Yeah,
that.
my bad. My bad. Yes. And then I've had a jolly, all in caps, good time. Thank you, Lord.
That sounds like me.
That was you.
Yeah, because they called me Jolly in high school.
There you go. All right, ladies. Lisa,
It's been
please.
so much fun to hear your stories. And a couple of shows back, we asked the group if you could go back and do something different in high school or change something different, what would you do? And listening to your stories made me think, if I could go back and do something different in high school, I would have wanted the cheerleaders to ride the band bus to the games instead of our own little short bus, because that sure would have been a lot more fun.
Well, Lisa, let me tell you something. Come Monday, there were a lot of people wearing turtlenecks in the summer.
Exactly.
There was a lot of turtlenecks worn on Monday. Just FYI.
From the
And
from
we
the band
had
bus?
we
Huh?
had a lot of blue oceans with Everclear in them.
Oh Lord.
Our
Anyway,
cheerleader bus was very tame. You know, we did our hair and makeup, we did our homework. You know, it was not, we had fun, but it wasn't lively because it was just our little, 6 cheerleaders in our group. It sure would have been a lot of fun to ride the band buses. I don't think they would have let us do that. Anyway, it's been so much fun hearing your stories and seeing your faces again after all these years. And, you know, from my experience in high school, being on the cheerleading squad with 6 people, you create these bonds that um, really make an imprint in your life, and you don't realize maybe at the time how important they are until you get to be the age that we are, and realize what an impact they had, and that you did have somebody to have your back, if you needed it, that there was somebody, even if you didn't always hang out with that group and they weren't necessarily your best friends, or you had other friends, you had this core group that was like a family. It was a little unit that you could always lean into. And what a beautiful thing that you got to experience that in your high school years. And yay, Jana, for bringing this to PHS and creating history in our hometown, in our high school. So
yes.
you,
I did
man.
not know that.
I didn't either.
Bravo.
Yes, absolutely. So
Well, ladies, it's time to say goodnight.
it's
And
way past my bedtime.
yeah, please don't be a
Yours, I'm on
stranger.
the East
Yeah.
Coast.
If you guys can think of any other shows, please suggest it to Lisa or I. If you guys want to have some other friends to join in, so just whatever. Don't make this your first and your last. So we'll see you guys soon. Good
Okay.
night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Night.
Thank
Love
you.
you
Bye.
all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you
Love
all
you
so much.
all.
I did not know that Janet did that.
I know. I mean,
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yeah, they should really have an award for her if they still have the Rafa Corps. They should,
well,
So
we've talked about with Danny last week about the Hall of Honor, and that, it's been
yeah,
predominantly athletes, but I think the Hall of Honor should be about honoring people that made history in Plainview High School.
right.
And that is a historic, memory that needs to be captured, because we didn't know. It's probably
No,
no.
I had no idea. I thought it was the Rafa Corps, everything, the flags, the tours was has been there for many years, well, like 50 plus years before we were there. But hey, it's late. I need to get to bed soon, and
Yeah, me
but
too. 5
I
a.m.
think our next show is the Lone Star Santa Claus.
Not
Ronnie
next.
Watson and
That's
Clem,
week after next, right? Or
huh?
is that week after next?
No, I think we have them on the 13th, I think, because that's Lone Star Santa Day. But I will, of course, put something on Facebook. But anyway, good night. It was a great show, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good night, everyone.